Hello, mi gente, it's just Jeannie. Thank you for coming back. For those of you who are new, welcome. In today's video, I'll be talking about my testimony and my walk with Jesus. So if you guys are interested, please stay tuned. All right, let's just get into it. I grew up with the love and fear of God since I was a little girl, and I remember going to church, and slowly as I was getting older, I remember like going to church less and going to church more like during the holidays and things of that nature. And I remember like always knowing that whenever I needed something and wherever I was blessed, I always knew to thank God and pray to Him. And so, I went through a lot of trials and tribulations, and during this time, I couldn't understand like why things weren't falling into place. I couldn't understand why I just couldn't get out of this dark space that I was in. And I remember I grew up with my uncle who's Christian. Growing up I was a Catholic, but I had an uncle who was Christian, and he always used to talk to me about Jesus and God and the gospel. And I remember always listening to and always wanted to hear more, but I never did nothing with that, right? So like I never went on my way to go to church or to like open up a Bible, even buy a Bible. And I remember making a prayer, and he answered my prayer. So I ended up bumping into one of my friends, and whom I love so much. And she invited me out to catch up. We went to high school together, and we started talking, and she like we were just basically having normal conversation, chit chat. And then she asked me like, are you a believer or like something of that sort. I can't really remember. And I remember speaking to her, and she was telling me that she was running like a home-based church. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I remember going to her house and feeling so connected and listening to the words, and the words were actually touching my heart. One of the biggest issues that I had before, growing up Catholic, was that I used to sit in church, and honestly, and I would hear the words, and it was like it wasn't connecting with me, right? So like I would hear it, but I couldn't really feel the word. And I remember when I went for the first time to a Christian church with my uncle, and it was just like a whole different experience. It was like if Jesus was talking to me, pouring into me. So I really did love that feeling and like that whole experience. So here I am, a little older, and experiencing that. And I was like, you know what? Wow, like I turned a new leaf. Like, this is what I needed. I honestly thought that Jesus revealed himself to me, and that, he touched my life. So as time went by, I saw myself still doing certain things, like, I want to say of the world, like, just feeding into like things that is not in light and is not considered in a way love, I want to say. And I remember listening to music that doesn't favor God and Jesus. And I just kept going along. I feel like during that time I want to say I was like, I wasn't even lukewarm. I don't want to say lukewarm. I just feel like I was just going with the flow. I was getting to where I needed to get. And then I remember I had a dream, and I believe it was a prophetic dream. And my dream was that I woke up, like I told you guys in my prior video, my favorite color is black. So in the dream, I was wearing black, but I woke up and I knew in the dream that I was like in a basement, like it was like in a low basement, and around me there were people that were like dead, half dead. I saw mucus, I saw blood, and then I saw regular people like me. And in this dream, I remember like being frightened, like if I knew subconsciously that that death, was near, like the Reaper. And in the dream, I remember seeing a guy with two lanterns lit up. And I got up quickly and I ran to him and I go to him, "Hey, can I please have one? Like I can, I can't see." And then he goes to me, "No." And I remember feeling like shocked, like what? And I said, "Please, like I really need one." He goes, and he told me in the dream, "You need to find your own light." So as he told me that, he left, and I was still in darkness, and I was so worried I was so worried and about me being there, and in my head I kept saying to myself, I should have never worn black. I should have worn a light color, because I know if I would have worn a light color, it would have repelled, death that's coming. And I was just freaking out when I literally felt like I was left behind. That was really that the message for me was, you left behind. You don't have your own light. And I remember waking up like crying and with this overwhelming sensation or feeling that I really was left behind. And I felt like this urgency, like it was so weird. It was like I felt the urge, like, no, like I have to do what I need to do. I really need to stop playing games with my faith, and I have to really get right with God, and walk with Jesus, And I remember telling my uncle the dream, and I remember trying to figure out, like, what is this dream telling me? Like, obviously, I know what the dream is telling me, but I just felt like there was more to it. So I just kept like trying to like figure out. And I ended up telling my friend, and she was like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "What?" She was like, that dream, you just basically told me about the parable of the 10 virgins." And I'm like, "The parable of the 10 virgins?" And she goes, "Yeah, you need to read it." When I read the parable, I just couldn't believe it. So I'll be reading a little bit of the parable so you guys can get more of an idea. For those of you guys who don't know, but the parable of the 10 virgins was a time where there were 10 virgins who took their lamps, right? So they went out to meet the bridegroom. And it literally says, five of them were foolish and five of them were wise. And the five that were wise, they came with like their lantern, with extra oil. And the foolish ones, they literally just came with the lantern, no extra oil or anything like that. And it says that the bridegroom took a long time to come, right? And so they all basically fell asleep. And at midnight, so it says at midnight, the cry rang out, "Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him." So then the virgins woke up, they trimmed the lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise one, "Give us some of your oil, our lamps are out." "No," they replied, "there may not be enough for both us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." When I read this, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly my dream. I have never, ever read this parable. I've never bumped into it. I've never even heard of it. So when I saw that, I was like, obviously, this is not a coincidence. This is him speaking to me. So they knocked on the door and said, "Lord, Lord," they say, "open the door for us." But he replied, "Truly, I tell you, I don't know you." So basically, in this dream, I was the fool. I was the fool, and I was not the wise. I was not part of, I was not wise at all. And, and at the end, he said, "I don't know you." So when I woke up from the dream and I said, I really got to get my stuff together. I want to walk with Jesus. Like, I do not want to be left behind. When the rapture comes, I want to be one of those people to leave with my Father, right? That's how I felt. But the urgency was so much more when after I read that parable, that I was like, wow, like he loves me so much that he's communicating with me with plain words that I myself or someone who he's gonna instruct to put in my way to tell me, hey, this is from his book, with me having absolutely no knowledge. So I was just amazed by all of that. So after that dream, I started reevaluating, like, my relationships, how I would speak to others, even not even speak to others. It was more that, because that I'm still working on, but how I feel inside, right? So being from New York and coming out your way and doing nice things for others, it doesn't matter for who it is. You grow up with this thick skin, like, no, you're not gonna play me, I'm not doing that, or I'm not your fool, you're not gonna have me like a sucker. That's literally like kind of like the attitude, at least for yeah, like we just feel like you're not gonna play us, like that is the attitude in a sense. So I know that for me, that's a constant battle. When a wonderful thought is being put in my heart, And it's like immediately the like that worldly part of me comes and like severs that kind thought. And that's one of the things that I noticed, and I remember I was so sad about it. I'm like, I don't know why am I doing this? Like, why do I not just give in to all the goodness and all the kindness that is being brought to me, that Jesus is speaking into me? Because he talks to us. We just need to listen. We have to listen. Every time, like I said, every time you find yourself and out of nowhere you just get this thought of doing something, helpful or selfless, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Let yourself be guided by that voice. Many times, especially during these days, like we're worried so much about us that we're not even thinking about what is the ultimate goal, and aside from the goal, what is your ultimate purpose. Our purpose on this earth is to live like Jesus. We fall so short. We can't even put ourselves side to side, but to walk in his way the more we can. All right, so because we all know we're not perfect, we're all sinners, and that's the reason why he paid the ultimate price for us, and I just feel like, sometimes it's so easy to fall into the, like I said, the worldly things, right? Like, who got the hottest this, who got the hottest that, who got this, who got this. It's definitely not about that. Growing up, that's something me and my siblings, that's not us. Like, material things don't matter. Family, spending time with each other, heart of God, and doing the right things. The only thing is that it was hard for us because, um, like I said, growing up in New York, you have to have some type of tough exterior to be able to survive, and I think that's something that we grew up with. But as you get older, you realize that's not really it. After this dream, the love and fear for God just got intensified. And I immediately knew that I was truly touched by Jesus because things started just changing in my everyday life. Like, I remember going through one day through my Instagram feed, and I was following certain accounts, and immediately when I saw something that just felt wrong to even look at, I just started deleting, blocking, unfollowing, and things of that nature. And even like I would listen to music and it was like, not honoring God, or it was like too raunchy, I would just take it off. It just wasn't in me to like put it purposely or watch something purposely, because I felt like everything that I was doing from then on, from that dream on, I should have been doing it on purpose. And I think that that's one of the biggest problems, not problems, but one of the issues that we have as, human beings. Like, we're so used to the hustle and bustle of every day that we literally are on autopilot doing some of the things. And I feel like, that revelation that God gave me helped me to live more in the now, right? And to do things with purpose, and to do the right thing, and to honor him, to show love to others, to spread kindness. And it's so much of a burden to go against those wonderful thoughts that are being deposited in your mind. The Holy Ghost keeps talking to you and telling you certain things. It just feels so much lighter, to do right, to do what is right, and to do what's just. And I just feel super blessed, and I never stop having gratitude for the things that I have and the mercy that he's had on us. Like, if you're even watching this video right now, I mean, all the mercies and the blessings and the grace, you have it as well. You're here. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I know that I've been touched, because I am not the same genie. I am different. And I know that with time going by, like, I know I'm only going to change more, right? And look back and be like, wow, I can't believe that I used to be like that. And it's not a walk in the park, because there's a lot of things that we have to change, right? Some things are going to be harder than others, and some things are going to be easier. And for me, I think it was more like the little things was easier for me. And I was just astonished, like, Music, and when I listen to worship music, I feel like I'm in another world, like in a whole different, trance. And it's just so peaceful. I feel like nothing matters. And, that feeling, only He can give us that feeling. Only He can give us that peace that surpasses anything and everything else. We all know what path to take, and sometimes we just don't. Sometimes we go deliberately, towards the wrong path. And I think that's where the courage, needs to come in, and, when to do, what path to take. And for, a lot of us, we're lucky enough to be touched by Jesus and to be transformed. But, the way to be transformed, we have to let go a little and let Him guide us. And, until you take the right path, all those wonderful blessings, all those beautiful gifts that are wrapped up in gold and beautiful bows that are set aside for us, we're never going to be able to even get to it if we don't follow the right path, you know? So to wrap up this video, I just basically want to just say, just listen, keep your ears open. Don't fight that good voice, feed it. And, challenge yourself. In this world is like a dog eat dog type of world, especially when you live in the States. Everything is a competition. Everything is about who can do certain things better, who can't. It's all mumbo jumbo, but at the end of the day, everything stays here anyways. So what I want to say is just dare to be kind, to follow Jesus' ways, put him first in everything you do. And I promise you everything is gonna change, and just keep going at it. Like, don't give up, I feel that when you don't give up, and you trust, right, and you believe, because that's what it is. You have to believe. If you don't believe and you want something, you're putting something out there, you're not gonna get it. He knows if you believe it, you don't. So just listen, you know, and that little conscience that you believe, that thing that you believe that is a conscience that's telling you what to do, the right thing and the bad thing. That little saying, the little devil and the little angel this side. No, it's really like that. It's like the world, or the enemy is telling you, do whatever you want, do this. And then you have the Holy Ghost, God speaking to you, guiding you, sometimes even giving you visions. So just pay close attention, make the right choice, and let yourself be guided. I can't stress that enough. I know that everything has changed for me in every way, shape, or form, from patience to even showing more love or being more understanding, and biting my tongue a lot more lately than what I normally do. I get in trouble for not biting my tongue. So that's one thing like I said, I am working on. All right, mi gente, thank you so much for watching. For those of you who are new, please make sure to subscribe, hit the bell button so you can get a notification every single time I upload. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure you write it in the comment section. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.